in-depth look at the Leadership Nexus assessment. In this final video, we will be looking at how to use the Leadership Nexus with teams. In the previous video, we discussed the individual response workbook. All of the information we examined in that video and in the videos prior to it is essential to understanding how the Leadership Nexus can help with team development. Our experience in using this assessment with teams has shown us that it can serve as a powerful tool for a variety of critical team functions. Perhaps the most useful way to get started on the team utilization of the Leadership Nexus is to look at a case study. The following situation is a real one in which names and all other identifying characteristics have been removed. As we work through the case study, please observe some of the insights that can be gained from using it. The team we will be using for this case study is a leadership team from a large healthcare institution. It is made up of a vice president and her 12 direct reports, all of them directors or senior directors. The team members, including the vice president, took the Leadership Nexus assessment and were provided with their individual results at a team meeting. At the request of the vice president, we provided the following team report in which we plotted all of the individual results without names and the score of a generic vice president, the blue circle, as well as that of a generic director, the purple circle. We then shared this report with the entire team during the team development meeting. Once they had an opportunity to look at their results, the team members engaged in an open discussion during which they acknowledged their frustrations with being pulled into too many staff details and decisions, but also their uncertainty about whether or not they were supposed to manage these. Nor did they know how to stop doing it. By the end of the discussion period, they had made the following observations. Given their positions, they were functioning at least a full level and in some cases 2 levels below what they expected. While they were generally well aligned in regard to their thoughts and actions, the focus of those thoughts and actions were misaligned. Much of their time was being spent in the weeds, managing conflicts, crises, and daily operational tasks. They were lacking in time spent on strategic initiatives, and there was one clear outlier in the group. After surfacing these observations, and before getting into solutions, the vice president stated to the group that she wanted to identify her score because she felt it would open up more honest conversation about how to move forward. Her score, circled below, identified to the team that she was actually working below her position and that she recognized that she had work to do in these same areas. She also described her own frustration at being pulled into conversations and problems that were really not hers to resolve. She acknowledged to her team that she needed to do a better job of trusting them to manage their own issues, and that she would commit to making that an area of her personal growth over the next year. Finally, she re-emphasized that all of them needed to work hard to refocus their energies if they were to move successfully in the direction that she desired. Once they all began to identify their scores, another part of the conversation centered around the outlier in the group, triangled below. It turned out that this individual was a fairly new director. She reported feeling like she had many good ideas that could help her team and the rest of the department, but that she was frustrated with her lack of success in getting traction. In fact, she was beginning to believe that the ideas she put forth in the team meetings might get her into trouble because they were consistently out of the norm. Now, take a few minutes and write down your ideas about the path forward for this individual within her team. Then, identify what approach you would recommend for the team in regard to how they deal with her in the future. As a result of this new understanding, and in recognition of the lone voice this team member presented, her vice president and her team members encouraged her to take several steps. First, keep bringing her ideas to the group and don't hesitate to speak up about them. Second, recognize that she was thinking in a way that the rest of them wished they could think, and that they all appreciated these new and sometimes radical ideas, and that they needed to keep hearing them. Third, work harder at building relationships both inside and outside the department in order to increase her chances of idea adoption and implementation, and to reduce the resistance from the team when those ideas threatened to disrupt the normal processes and procedures. And fourth, keep asking for more stretch assignments to help her prepare for advancement in the future. Now, thinking back to the observations made by the team members themselves, write down some of your own suggestions for how they could use their meeting time over the following year to grow as a team and to more effectively operate as the leaders they wanted to be. Finally, take a few additional minutes to write down your thoughts on the following questions. First, if you were working with this team, what would you recommend they do in order to strengthen the alignment of their current scores with their desire to operate at higher levels? Second, what questions would you pose to them to help guide those thoughts? Third, where are their most visible avenues for development? Fourth, how would you help them separate out their personal journeys from their team journey? And fifth, what might team progress look like after a year of further development? In posing these types of questions to individuals involved in a team development process, we try to point out how useful it can be to ask questions that cover the full range of the 5 levels of leadership in the model. It's important to keep them focused on both their present state and how it can be enhanced, as well as future states that they might desire to attain. To complete this section of the Leadership Nexus in teams, let's examine some of the benefits it can provide. The Leadership Nexus Team Report has several practical applications. It can provide a snapshot of a team's current performance in relation to the needs of their roles. It can establish a common language for all team members to use in looking at their current performance. It can help team members identify both short-term and long-term goals for their ongoing leadership development. And it can also facilitate the mapping of a set of thought and behavior changes that will help the team function more effectively. This completes the pre-work videos for role-aligned leadership and the use of the Leadership Nexus assessment. Thank you for your participation. If you have any questions about this topic, please do not hesitate to contact us.